In about 2003, I was a student sitting in an entrepreneurship lecture series. And the reason I was there is that I was trying to figure out how to start this company. And people kept saying to me, do you have a business plan? And I kept saying to my associates, do we have a business plan? Can someone write a business plan? And I went to BYU's Center for Entrepreneurship and I said, can someone show me how to write a business plan? And everyone just acted like you should know what a business plan is. You know, if you're going to start a business, you really should know what a business plan is and how to write it. And frankly, I didn't. I just didn't. Finally, one of the lecturers in the BYU Entrepreneurship lecture series said to us in the class, I have a filing cabinet full of business plans. If any of you want to come and borrow, steal, plagiarize, whatever, these business plans, feel free. And so I showed up in his office the next day, and I don't think I was the typical looking student. And he kind of looked surprised. He was like, can I help you? And I said, yes, I'm here to find out how to write a business plan. You said that we could do that. And I stood there talking to him. He asked a couple more questions. And it turned out to be a wonderful relationship because without his help, I don't know if I would have been able to start Imagine Learning, but he invited me to sit down and we started talking and things just progressed from there. So you're in the right place. And hopefully I can tell you something today that might be as valuable as the information that he was able to give to me. This is one of my favorite all-time pictures. This is my 15 grandchildren, and we are on the beach in, let's see, that is Waimea Beach on the north shore of Oahu this past summer. And the reason this picture is important to our discussion today is because of what I've been able to do as an entrepreneur. I was able to afford to take my entire family, all 28 of us, to Hawaii this past June, which was a lifelong dream of mine. My husband has long been associated with BYU Hawaii and raising the funds for scholarships and buildings and growth there. And we've spent lots of time, he and I, over there, but we'd never had the chance to take our family. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how that transpired today. So you want to be an entrepreneur, I assume. That's why you're taking the class, I assume. And why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Anybody want to tell me why you want to be an entrepreneur? Yes?
So I can be my own boss.
So you can be your own boss. That's a great one, yes.
So I can work my own hours.
Work your own hours.
So I don't have to work, I can just do something fun.
Don't have to work, just do something fun. Provide for generations to come.
So I can do my own thing as opposed to somebody else's.
Do your own thing as opposed to somebody else's. I saw another hand over here.
I was just going to say, that's fun. It's fun.
It's fun. All of those things are true, and they all are possibilities, and they're also all very false. And I'll tell you a few of the reasons why. So I want to be my own boss, right? Yeah, I'm the boss, all right. Like I have 260 employees. I have a board. I have 7 board of directors. I have multiple shareholders and investors, 100 or so. I have about 5,000 customers. And I'll tell you, I am not the boss. I am the servant of all of those people. And it's, you know, no one mentioned make a lot of money. Wow. I think it's really cool to make a lot of money. What about you guys? Wouldn't you like to make a lot of money along the way? I mean, if you're doing great stuff and you're having fun doing it and you're changing the world, then why not make a lot of money in the process, right? Change the world. I mean, that's what our mission is. Our mission is to change the world through giving educational opportunity to students that they otherwise wouldn't have and make this world a better place. So I always talk about how we have the best of both worlds. We have the opportunity because we have this huge market. It's called the world. So we have this huge market, but we also have the opportunity to be altruistic in the work that we do by really meeting the needs of each individual student. Someone said your own hours. You know, make your own hours. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more. Have a great idea. You know, maybe you just have this great idea and you just have to go and make it happen, right? So yeah, I have flexible hours. I can work any 80 hours a week I want. And I tell my employees that. We have flexible hours at Imagine Learning. You can work any 80 hours a week you want. Come and go as you want. You know, do it in your sleep, whatever. And that's not far off, for especially as we were starting. The first 2 or 3 years, that was pretty standard stuff. And we worked our tails off, and we gave it everything that we had. And we worried paycheck to paycheck, or payroll to payroll. Were we going to make it? How are we going to come up with it? Because at Imagine Learning, I had to start with 25 employees right off the bat. And these were professionals who were used to making, you know, pretty good salaries. And they had families to support. So, you know, suddenly every 2 weeks we had to come up with $100,000 to make payroll. So it wasn't easy. It was hard. But someone else mentioned that if you're having fun while you're doing it, it's not work, right? And it's so true. So it's very challenging and interesting, but I love it very much. I think it's really great. So why did I become an entrepreneur? Well, I was about, I don't know how old I was in that picture, 11 or 12, I think. And I had my 4-H chicken project. Went out, took my babysitting money, went out, bought 25 chicks, raised them, and then proceeded to keep books of my expenses and my income, and started selling eggs around the neighborhood. So I don't know, I guess I was just born to be an entrepreneur for some reason. More than that, I just like to call myself a make it happen lady. You know, I just always have been the one that, if you're the one that just is compelled to make something better or bring the group together. You know, when you get together, I know you've all had classes where you've had an assignment and the teacher says, okay, you 4, you're a team, you 4 are a team, you 4 are a team, and you get together and here's the project, it's an 8-week project. What role do you take when you go down for that first meeting with your team? Yeah, if you're not the make it happen person, maybe you're not going to be able to do this. You know, you got to learn how to make it happen in whatever role and setting you're in. You need to know how to, you know, my son is a student at BYU Idaho right now in their business program, and he was on the phone with me last week, and he's in his senior year, and in your senior year, each one of them have to go start a business, run a business on campus, and sell the business at the end of the semester and make a profit. So he was all excited about their idea that their team came up with, and I was saying to him, so if you put your business plan together, do you know how much it's going to cost and what you're going to need and how many people it will take to staff the booth, and what are you going to do to stay warm in that freezing Rexburg weather out on the sidewalk, and you know, all those things you have to think about, all those things that it takes to make that happen. And he was all excited about it, and then he called me back at the end of the week and he was a little discouraged. We've just put our business plan together. I can't believe how much money it's going to cost to do this. I'm like, yep, well, that's why you put a business plan together, but that's okay, you'll make it happen. If you're the kind of person who sees a need and fills it, if you're the kind of person who sees a need or sees a problem and wants to solve it, or you see an opportunity and you take it, you can be an entrepreneur. Because that's what it takes. And I have to tell you, it's not the easy road. You have to be dedicated, you have to be committed, you have to be courageous and brave and strong and persistent in order to make it happen and have it be successful. At Imagine Learning, we want to exhibit excellence in everything that we do. We don't want to do anything half-baked. We work really hard to do everything as well as we can possibly do it and beat all of our competitors in doing it. And there are some great competitors out there. We take on the largest publishers in the US with our software. And so everything that we do has to be done extremely well. The great idea that we had As Shauna said, as I came into this idea, I had experience in software development with the Waterford Institute. We had built a world-class educational software that taught little children in schools how to read. So our English-speaking students in our big cities who go to school and they don't know at all how to read, or they haven't been given the tools to begin to learn how to read. They don't even know the alphabet. They don't know the alphabet song. They're failing in our schools. So we had that software out in the schools for years, and I retired in 2000. And I went back to school full-time like you all, and I really enjoyed that experience. But I had team members coming to me saying, former team members and employees saying, you need to start something new. And I kept saying, no, I'm done. And then this great idea wasn't my idea. It came to me from an associate who knew the work that we had done at Waterford and the program that we had built there. He was Chinese American. He had taken the Waterford program to China, came back, and called me and said, have you got a team that could build a program to teach children in China to speak English? Wow, that was just the light bulb going on. Doesn't that sound fun and exciting and interesting, and huge market and great opportunity to change the world? And I just thought that was such a great idea. So that's when I started putting the team together seriously to build this product, to design to teach English to the children of the world. Why is that important? Why would I think that was a great idea? Anyone know?
There's already a need for it.
There's a huge need for it, right? Do all of you know that English is the language of commerce worldwide?
Everybody speaks English in the world.
Are any of you in here English learners? Where are you from?
From Russia.
From Russia. Where did you learn to speak English?
A little bit in high school back home and German here in school.
Why was that important to you?
So I can continue my education. I can open any higher class if I don't have English 10 or the math.
Exactly.
Building sentence, like past, future, they're all different.
Right.
And back home, the structure you make the sentence is like completely different alphabet.
Yeah.
If you say so.
It's not that English is the greatest language. It's just that it has become a universal worldwide language. You go to other countries and you'll have an assembly of different people speaking different languages, and almost always if there are different languages, English is the universal language, and it has become the language of commerce and of course of the internet and so on. So so our mission was to change lives and open doors of opportunity by teaching language and literacy to children around the world, and using technology to deliver it, and then to make Imagine Learning successful and profitable, and a great company to work for. One of the real advantages as you work for different companies, as you go through school and you're working part-time jobs, and you get out of school and you take a few jobs, it's really important that you have that experience. Don't say, oh, I'm going to go be an entrepreneur, so I don't want to work for any other companies. Oh no, get all the experience that you can, everywhere you can. You can learn all the things you like doing and all the things you don't like doing. You can learn what it's like to work for a great manager and what it's like to work for a really terrible manager, right? And those experiences are really valuable as you start to think about building your own company. So, lots of kids needing to learn to speak English, and Opportunity Speaks English. I'm just going to go through this quickly. This is just talking about our markets, and that was one of the things that we had to deal with. And as I started going out trying to get money from investors, encouraging investors to invest in our product, who do you think I went to first? Family? Did someone say family? Yes?
I would say teachers or like
Your BYU acquaintances?
My BYU acquaintances? Friends and family. And they usually add fools onto that, right? The first time I was told that, when I asked this lecturer who came to that lecture and was helping me. Well, where do I go for money? My husband's been a fundraiser in fundraising for BYU for 40 years. So I knew that fundraising was not an easy thing to do.
A bank alone.
I tried banks. Banks will only lend to people who don't need money. If you
The
have,
American government.
if you have assets that you can use as collateral, like a home that you own, or property or something that's tangible that you can put up as collateral for a loan, they'll give you the loan. But very hard to get the loan without that. The government, yeah, we got invited to go present to the Department of Education in Washington, D.C. because our idea was so great and our product was so good. And then at the end of that little presentation, they gave us a pat on the back and said, "Good work, keep it up." No, the government doesn't have money for you either. So I was told to go ask friends and family, and I thought, oh my gosh, I don't have any friends and family that have money. Well, it turned out that I did. I just didn't know it. And it took a lot of them, but I have a family of 140 people. That's my mom and dad and my brothers and sisters and our kids and grandkids and great-grandkids. So almost all of them invested whatever they had, and I had some friends that invested, and we were able to pull together enough money to get us going. But that's something that you have to think about when you're starting your business, is where am I going to get the funding for this? We presented to the angel groups, the angel investors. The angel investors at first felt like it was too risky, and then not enough going there, and then the next time we presented to them a year later, we were too big. We were already beyond what they typically invested in. So we missed that window. Fortunately, I found along the way 3 individuals who invested a significant amount of money each. And I call those my angel investors, although they were just great investors who saw the need and saw the potential opportunity there. Just to give you a feel for some of the work that we do, because it's kind of fun. Oh, shoot. Never mind. Let me go clear back here. I thought I missed this somewhere along the way. I wanted to just give you a sense of our product. This is created by, we have wonderful educators, teachers who sit down and figure out what the curriculum will look like. What does a child need to know to have mastery of this subject at every level, kindergarten on up. And then it goes to artists who give it life, and to musicians who make it wonderful, and to wonderful engineers, brilliant engineers, programmers, and testers who make it work and make it solid. And then it goes out to our customers. So this is what it looks like. Maybe. We still don't have sound. Is anyone an engineer? The one thing I am not in our company is an engineer. Fortunately, I have lots of people who do that for me. I don't know if I've got it in the right jack even. Do I?
Yeah, sure. This jack.
Oh well, I'll let you just see the artwork. I hope we can get some.
Just unplug it out of that. There we go.
Oops, that didn't work, did it? Anyway, you get an idea. We tried to make it really engaging for the student. Why would that be important? Yeah, if you're a teacher and you're in a classroom of 25 5-year-olds or 6-year-olds or whatever, and you have to drag them to the computer to get them to take their turn, how long are you going to use that program in your class? Not very long. And there's been a lot of that kind of software in the schools. So we want to draw the student in. We want to make it really engaging. And then we need to, we of course have made it truly effective so that kids get actual gains very quickly. We want to accelerate that language learning in their classroom. So if we don't have sound, I have several videos that you're not going to be able to take part in here, but Shauna, how much time do we have?
Until 10:02.
10:02.
Work on that sync a little bit.
Yeah, we've got the cord, so it's just probably, it's,
Okay. I wonder if we turn this
do we have a
on.
technician in the room?
I just asked, do we have it looks like we have a technician in the room. Ready for you, thank you.
Any of you have questions so far? Okay, over here.
You asked like family and friends for money
Mm-hmm.
initially. Like, wasn't that kind of difficult? I know you have to feel comfortable asking people for money, but
Yep.
if your company wouldn't have panned out, your relationships could have been destroyed. So how difficult was that for you?
Very. I wouldn't have had anywhere to go for Thanksgiving dinner. And you know what? That was a really compelling reason for me to stick with it, as difficult as it gets. Because all these people had trusted in me. Now, granted, I think we had a really good business proposition. People talk about entrepreneurs being risk takers. I'm not sure that I agree with that. I think entrepreneurs are calculated risk takers. If you're smart. If you want to have a successful business, you're going to have a compelling business plan. You're going to have a compelling product. You're going to know your market. You're going to know the customers. You're going to know that you have a sustainable business, not just a, one shot, like, creating T-shirts for Justin Bieber. I mean, how long is that going to be sustainable? So you have to have a compelling business opportunity for people to want to and feel safe investing in.
Data
And-
from around the country, it's 10.8 years. That's
So-
the average age.
It's okay. But good question. It was very difficult. Fortunately, last year, we were able to give some of those original investors a 9x return on their investment. So everyone's taken care of now, thank goodness. Yes,
When did you start that?
in 2004. Yes.
From about that time, I guess, how long did it take to when you were starting to cover your overhead and become profitable? And was it a certain company that invested?
In 2000.
Perfect. You did it. Excuse me? How long did it take us to become profitable?
Yeah,
Our fourth year. We haven't had to raise any additional money since our fourth year. We finally turned a profit. I had one really difficult year in that time. Just the year before that, I had to make a difficult decision, and I had to lay some people off because the biggest expense that we have is in people. Because when you're creating software, you don't have materials and all those kinds of things, manufacturing things, but people are your biggest expense. And I just woke up one morning knowing that, okay, we now have money coming in regularly, but we're just not getting ahead of our expenses. Our expenses are just so high. So I had to lay off about a third of our people in 2007, and that was really difficult. These were my good friends and loyal employees, and so that was really, really hard. But since then, we've been profitable, and it's been growing every year. It's been a great trajectory. Okay, sounds like we might have sound, thanks to our geniuses over here.
In 2004, Imagine Learning was formed with a lofty ambition to teach English to the children of the world.
I'm fine. I've got a leg
Today,
that's giving me some
Imagine
trouble,
Learning is
but
one of the
it's no better
fastest-growing
sitting down or
educational software
standing up.
companies in the
So,
United States.
I'm glad we got this.
And its
Me
amazing
too.
growth
How did
has
we do
allowed
it?
the company to make life-changing donations to kids around the world.
Do the magic.
Like
Yeah.
the children of the leprosy-affected in Rising Star India's schools, and the students of Tuvalu, a small island nation in the Pacific. At the heart of Imagine Learning's success is a team whose passion drives them to open doors of opportunity by creating the leading software program for English language and literacy.
English,
the language of business,
finance, and medicine.
The common thread in a global economy.
the language of diplomacy.
Helping governments of the world see eye to eye.
English is opportunity.
And for kids in the United States and all over the world,
It's the vehicle that will carry them toward a brighter future.
As Imagine Learning employees,
We do what we do because we believe.
We believe in the power of a quality education.
we believe that teachers deserve to have tools that will keep their students excited about reading
We believe that every child is unique.
and should learn at his or her own pace.
We believe that by teaching children English,
We're changing the world.
One student at a time.
And at the end of the day, all the work we do,
All the long hours and late nights.
All the creativity, care, and concern we put into building the best language and literacy program in the world.
It's all for the kids.
It's all for the kids.
It's all for the kids.
The kids.
for kids like Khalid.
For kids like Isra.
And Seleni.
it's for kids like Christian.
We do it for them and the millions of others just like them.
Because we believe we're making a difference.
So what's the common thread that's running through that I think is a key to all successful businesses?
We believe.
Yeah, we believe. Your passion for what you're doing. If you're not passionate about it, don't do it. Yes.
It's not
Cindy?
just carried through you, but you have emulated it so much that your employees now emulate that.
We talk about it all the time. We talk about it all the time. If any of you have had the opportunity to read Good to Great by Jim Collins, if you haven't, you should. Jim Collins talks about you have to know what your economic engine is. The economic engine of our company is a license because we sell a license per student. Every student that uses the program gets a license to use the program for a year because it's an individualized path. Each one of them goes through the program differently than the other based on how they're performing as they move through. It's very smart software. And so our economic engine is this license. So we're actually paying every employee a penny per license because we want everyone focused on the kids, getting those kids into the program and using the program. We're focused very much also on the usage once it goes into the schools. And whether or not, because I say it's like taking a medication, you know, if your doctor prescribes an antibiotic for you and you're supposed to take it 3 times a day for 10 days, and you take it every other day, once or twice, how well is it going to work on you know, what kind of a remedy will that be? So for our program, they have to use it every day, 20 minutes a day. And then we can guarantee that the gains that they will see will be unlike anything they've seen before. So have a vision. Hire great people. Oh my gosh, it's so important who you're doing who you're working with. Once, when we were about 2 years into it, I wrote on HR's board, the whiteboard in her office, said, "We do not have to hire grumpy people." There is no requirement in the Equal Opportunity Act that says you have to have a certain percentage of grumpy people in your company, so we don't. We look for minds and hearts. When I interview, if you were sitting across from me for an interview, and I interview everyone that joins the company still, if you were sitting there, I would be asking you questions, trying to decide if you had a great mind and you know how to use it, and you've demonstrated that through your academic and life choices, and I would try to find out where your heart is and if you care. Because if you don't care, or if you don't like these kids, or you know, maybe you have strong feelings about immigrants, then you probably wouldn't work very well at Imagine Learning. And then trust them to do what you've asked them to do. My job is to provide the necessary resources for them to do their jobs well, and then inspire the vision in each person's role in making it happen. I try to provide leadership, but give them ownership. Because I tell them, every single person that we hire is critical to our success. We wouldn't hire you otherwise, because resources are too precious, but we have to have you to do your job. And I don't know how to do your job, so I need you to do your job and do it as well as you could possibly do it. And I find that when you do that, when you provide ownership, I mean, don't we all just want to be a contributor, making a difference wherever we are? And so that just makes them, wow, they come up with great ideas, great campaigns. Our marketing department, our sales guys, our support people, our engineers and developers, they come up with all these great ideas every year as we do our planning for the coming year. We spent 6 months in our planning this past year coming up with ideas and taking ideas and refining those so that we would have our plan for 2012. Then I become their biggest fan and cheerleader. So I talk about CEO stands for Chief Emotional Officer. My real job is keeping everyone else happy, right? Whether it's that they don't have the right chair to sit in, or they need a window with an office, or they have a family crisis and they need some time off to take care of their family crisis, or the shareholders want to see us do bigger sales, or whether the customers need a different feature. So all of that is my job. I have to keep everyone happy. Let me show you a customer of ours and the impact that we've had.
My name is Isa. I am from Iraq. I am 11. I like to play and draw.
Isra came last April. Her sentences were single words. She spoke in nouns at first.
I know only a few words in English when I come to Korea. I was so scared on my first day of the school because I don't know anyone here. I don't know any teacher or any friend.
She had to start learning the letters and figuring out in her head how to switch it to start from the left. It's completely different for her. And I think Imagine Learning really helped with her progress. We started her right away as soon as she came last year, and she really made progress after that. It helped her put together things she already knew. It helped her take the nouns she knew and put some verbs with it.
Imagining is my favorite thing at the school because it has a lot of things to learn. It has a pretty stories and the question helped me understand.
She's now reading, writing, speaking. She's currently reading at about a second grade level, coming from nothing.
I love learning English because I want to be a police officer when I grow up. I want to do that because the police officer in my country are not very good. I want to go back and help fix my country. My name is Isra, and I'm in 7th grade, and I'm 13 years old.
I was really impressed with how much she did grow from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. At least about 2 grade levels in reading and writing, which is just amazing. We expect A students to go 1 grade level. She was 2 grade levels plus learning the language at the same time.
When I came to America, I didn't know nothing. Imagine learning helped me with the things like they have like some words, like even they tell you how to pronounce it, they tell you what it means, and now it's helping me and I'm getting good grades.
Isra is very confident. She likes to participate a lot. Even if she's not positive of the answers, she will still go ahead and try and do her best.
I changed my mind of what I want to be when I grow up. Like, I wanted to be now a doctor instead of a police officer. So I might go back, be a doctor and go back.
Imagine Learning made a big difference in Isa's progress because she had that individual help. She had the language. She was one who would play and sing, and I could hear her all the time in the computer lab just talking to the program and just having that interaction. Even though it was a computer, it was like she was interacting with it, and having the conversation is huge in just building their competency and their fluency. And what I find really great about her is that she's willing to reach out beyond just what she can do, but she also will extend a hand and help others. I hope that Isa gets everything that she wants and more in her future. She wants to make a difference back in her country. She wants to go back and make it right there. And I can see her doing that too. She has the spirit and the leadership qualities, and I think she can do it.
It's like life is like, it's a game. That's what some people say. You can win it and you can lose it, and that's your choice. And it's like, I just decided to win it.
I love what Easter said. Did you catch that at the very end? She said, life is like a game. You can win or you can lose it. That's your choice. And I just decided to win it. And each of you can make that same decision. Think big, think the impossible. I recently had an opportunity, for years I have thought it would be so cool if you could have 2 Saturdays in a week. Wouldn't it? One to work and one to play. And so 2 weeks ago, I was in Seoul, Korea, visiting we have a distribution partner in Seoul, and I was visiting their new offices, and working on some details. And we finished work early. They had wanted me there for meetings on Friday and Saturday, and we finished work early. And so I had all of Saturday free. I went to visit the Buddhist temple and went to tour the palace and went to a really cool shopping mall. So I spent all day Saturday in Seoul, Korea, and that night I got on an airplane and I flew all through the night. It's kind of a short night, but I got to Honolulu, Hawaii, where I had a 13-hour layover in Honolulu, Hawaii. I spent all day Saturday in Honolulu, Hawaii, having fun touring around and eating there and going out on the beach. And so, you know, don't think that everything is impossible. You can just have your wish. Just keep working on it. Prepare yourself. This is so important. Being an entrepreneur is not taking the easy road. It's taking the hard road. But it's also a very rewarding experience. Find your great idea. Test it. Try it out on everyone else around you. See if they think it's as great an idea as you do. Are they willing to put some money on the table? Have intense personal passion to succeed. Like this young man pointed out over here, you know, my passion came not just from the work, it actually came from three things. It came from the work that we were doing, the great mission that we have. It came from my desire to succeed and to make sure that I was able to pay back those who had invested money in the company. And it came from there's one other thing my passion came from. It's gone. Anyway, have that passion. Plan, plan, plan. You have to have your plan. You have to know all the details. That's why they have you write a business plan. It's to make sure that you've thought through all of the details involved in getting this venture started. Are there legal liability issues that you need to deal with? Is there insurance? You know, what is it? Work hard, give it your all, persevere with courage and faith, surround yourself with great people, have a willingness to learn, dream big, think success, give back, serve others. And if you do those things, you can be successful in your venture. Greatness is not a function of circumstance, it is largely a matter of conscious choice. And some books that you should read, and I can give you this to give you these lists. So you still want to be an entrepreneur? Know why. Know why. Prepare yourself to be used for good. And that's what you get to do. Take your family to Hawaii. Thank you.